Hello, I'm Joshua of Milestone Play, and today we are doing a test play of one of our custom systems, Crossover Codex. This system is designed with the intentions of bringing together a multi-campaign spanning world-changing event together in a more fluid and narrative format, and the system is designed to allow for character choices and player choices to matter more than random chance. In this game, we are going to have abilities that we can choose to use to spend to deal with different challenges, threats, exploration, social challenges, things like that. And depending on the special abilities our players have, they will have different proclivities. Any power can be used to overcome any challenge, but attack powers, much better for taking care of threats, and then social powers, much better for taking care of social situations. Some of them also have little special abilities that might twist what's going on in our game. There's a couple other rules that we'll discuss as they come up, but for now, let's go ahead and meet our players. I'm very thankful to the players that are joining me of their own free time, of their own volition, to help me get this test played. So thank you guys so much, and let's go ahead and meet you.
Even in all, I am Barad Alil. I will be test playing the Bard pre-gen that Josh has provided for us.
Hello there, I am Damien. I will be playing a character from the Thursday campaign I play with our dear DM here, Celeste Scrivener, a wizard.
Hello, my name is Darth, or otherwise known as Darth, and I will be playtesting the pre-generated cleric known as Brother Maynard.
Fantastic. So we do have a wizard, a cleric, and a bard, which has led us to change up our session a little bit, as we were expecting 5 players, but at these late hours, sometimes it's a bit difficult to get everyone here. So we will be going through with 3 typically casters, but as we'll see playing through this game, based off of how powers are broken down, any character archetype can just have any combination of these powers. So we're going to see how these characters deal with the powers that have been given to them, or in the case of Celeste, selected without having ever played the system before. So we'll go ahead and get into our session today. It is a very simple story that we're going to be telling, as our band of adventurers have been returning from one of their voyages, one of their previous adventures. As they do so, passing by regions that they've gone through in the past, not quite the route that they took to get to their previous destination, but they're loosely aware of where they are. As you guys make your way back through the region, you're going to see smoke on the horizon coming up from within a tree line at the base of a mountain. You are aware that there is a village down there, and with that, you realize that with all of your heroics behind you, and yet more in front of you, that village that has done such good for you in the past might be in trouble. So we're going to get right into an immediate challenge to start to see how these powers work. And the challenge that we have to start off with is going to be an exploration challenge. So with this, there is a certain level that we are trying to beat. The challenge has a danger level, and all of our characters have to use their special abilities and their narrative abilities and basic attacks to attempt to overcome the challenge. In doing so, when they spend their abilities or use their narrative abilities, they will be able to add any narrative they want into it. Based off of the way that this game is played, there's not a chance for immediate failure. There's just how long it takes them to accomplish the task. With the burning village in the distance, if it takes them too long to get there, they might receive some penalties, but they will get there eventually. So, as we go to our characters, we have an exploration challenge before us. You may use any of your abilities that you wish. All of you are experts, making you very good at using your narrative abilities to overcome exploration and social challenges. It's just whether it takes you 1 or 2 actions, 3 or 4 actions. If you can do it in 1, we'll find out. So, who thinks they have the beginning steps to getting to this isolated village quickly?
Oh boy.
Our current task is arriving at the village.
Exactly.
Let's see here. I am also open to. I'm not saying I have to do it when I'm mumble to myself like this. Sorry.
Well, I'm certainly ready to help you out, and I'll double whatever effort you can put forth.
Okay. So, if any of you have an exploration ability, in this case, you would get double the points towards our unknown danger level. So, for instance, if using an example from a character we don't have, the Druid has a level 3 exploration ability, and with that would be 6 points towards towards the danger level to arrive there, and that is a very big ability to use in this case. So, do any of you have any exploration abilities that you would like to use? Do you have any other abilities that you would like to spend? Or would you simply like to describe what tasks you do and use one of your narrative abilities that's for free?
I think Celeste is going to conjure her magic and her familiar, her owl, to assist them in finding them a safe-ish path, but fast path, down to the village through the forest, as I will use a narrative ability.
Fantastic.
Power 1.
As an expert, it is Power 1. So as you guys begin following after Albert, your familiar, flying ahead, guiding the way, you guys begin to pick your way through the environment, going around some crags that otherwise would have slowed you down. And with that, you have made headway, but you have not gotten there yet. So that is one action taken, attempting to get to the village. Who would like to take another?
I will. Ericer the Bard will pull out his handy little drum and start throwing down a beat to keep our stride in step and good pace as we make our way towards the village using a narrative ability, Power 1.
Fantastic. Thus far, we have 2 power going towards overcoming this danger. As you guys keep up the pace and keep it going pretty strong, making your way through the forest, you start to hear the cries of villagers. You start to hear the grunts of raiders. And with that, the beginning crackles of tinder. You guys are almost there. As this is a learning session, I will let you guys know to use an exploration ability now would be wasteful. So who wants to bring us in with a final narrative ability to hit that danger level of 3?
I think, yes, just to get us off of this mountain, yes?
Getting you around the mountain towards the final leg of the village to approach the outside.
Yes, I think that we're on the mountain, sorry?
Yes.
Yes. So Celeste is just going to urge her companions to run and jump and cast Featherfall on all of us for another narrative ability.
Okay. As you come drifting down, you kind of phase through a little bit of this smoke. And in doing so, you start to see that the buildings are beginning to spread with fire. You have one that's clearly much more burning, but you have orc raiders that have begun gathering up more individuals, piling them into buildings, and beginning the burning process. So, with this, our 3 narrative abilities used, you guys, having gotten there just in the nick of time, though it was very close. Very lucky that you guys have 3 experts as opposed to any heroes. It actually played out for you this time. We will go ahead and drop you guys into our burning village. So, as you look at our map, we have different sections of the village. We have a lumber mill, windmill. We have the general populace and some blacksmiths and larger workshops. And then we have farms. We have the village well, and then we have a ranch out near the back. As you guys come fumbling down like the last stretch of this rubble of a pass, drifting down on the Featherfall, you guys see that the orc raiders are scattered throughout. So we have orc minions. Minions can be defeated with any ability or even any basic attack, whether you're a hero or not. And then we do have a orc war leader who is a champion who is going to be needing some special abilities from you guys, considering you have no heroes to fight him with basic attacks. So, as we get into this, our initiative system in this game is going to be based on a deck of cards. All the different proponents of the battle will have their own cards in the deck, as opposed to rolling and having a bonus. We do have special abilities that allow for intercepting enemies. So it's simply going through random chance, person by person, and then depending on how the combat ends, it allows for us to highlight some lesser highlighted heroes in the next combat. So as we get ourselves set up with this combat, the first individual that will be acting is going to be... it's actually going to be Maynard. Brother Maynard, what would you like to do? You are currently in the gravel region of the map. On your turn, you can move one region and then use any of your abilities, or you may move two regions. And the regions are going to be orthogonal, so crossing a face as opposed to crossing a corner.
Okay. I would like to move over to this sandy dirt-like region over here, and as this orc minion is lighting fire to this particular building, I'm going to run up behind him and I'm going to shield bash him into the building and knock him into the fire.
Okay. As he does so, he bashes through the building, kind of like breaking through like some of the more of the wicket window, and doing so, it is going to kill him out. He's a minion, you can do that, and that's going to provide a means of exit for all of the people that the orcs have shoved into the burning building. So that is immediately one minion taken care of. Is there any other story elements you would like to share?
As the orc flies through the window, I'll encourage all of the occupants to take a good shot and stomp on him as they climb out the window, ushering everyone out to safety, pointing off to a direction that is away from fire and away from harm. And once everyone is clear, then I will turn my attention back toward the center of town.
Fantastic. And with that, I'll go ahead and remove our fire from the map, simply to signify that no one is in danger there anymore. So, with that, we will continue on to the next poll in our initiative, and that is going to be the Orc War Leader Champion. As you go rushing forward, just bashing the Orc minion through, he hears the crash. He hears the calls of the saved, thankful villagers, and he is going to kind of like finish killing off a little bit of the livestock in his ire, and he is going to move inward towards the center of the village, and he's going to use his action to call his minions from the farms. So as opposed to taking any action against you guys, he is going to group up and get all of his minions from one of the regions closer to then be able to assail you guys when their turn comes up. So that is the Orc War Leader's turn as he is strategizing against all of you. And that is unfortunate, because the orc minions go next. So, go ahead.
Sorry, would this be an appropriate time to use the reaction command to give an ally a turn?
Yes, as you find that out, this is an awful situation of them just having all this momentum, and you as a bard, please describe your command to give someone else the ability to deal with the situation before it becomes too bad.
I'm going to play a little ditty across the face of my drum, kind of pointing in the direction, kind of drawing some magical energy, and giving Celeste a boost to do what she needs to do.
A boost of how much, please?
As I read, it says you get to take a turn before the orc minion or minions. That part is unclear.
And add how much?
You get to gain 2 points.
Wonderful.
Because it's level 2 ability, so...
Okay, so this is not effect where Celeste is in the initiative. She just gets a bonus turn because we have an inspiring bard that can get people to do heroic actions beyond their kin. So with that, Celeste, you get a free action. You get a free turn. What would you like to do, knowing that whatever you do is going to have +2 power?
Oh boy. Oh goodness. I think it'd be best to move up to the center. I have to move the token, sorry. And I think I am going to use my power 1, conjure minor elemental interns. And I'm going to attack group these minions. Which I believe 2x minions, which would go to 3x minions. Yeah.
Yes.
6 minions?
So, based off of how the rules are currently written, you can take out up to 6 minions in this area. It's a bit overkill, but you are getting to take them all out before they get to act like they otherwise would have. And, yeah. This is fantastic. So, as you summon minor elementals, conjure minor elementals, would you like to describe what you summon and how they defeat all of the orc minions before those in that region get to take their turn?
Oh, you know how you upcast a minor elemental to get double the amounts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's just a swarm of a bunch of steam and smoke methods just swarming, blinding them, exploding them when they eventually die. And they're dressed very smartly in nice suits. And yes, I think.
Okay,
That's
fantastic.
wonderful. As she expends that, I suppose.
Okay, you have expended that ability as well. With that, we do continue on to the orc minion's turn, because we do have 2 others on the field, and they are actually going to split. One of them is going to move up with the orc war leader and Celeste. The other is going to move down with Eriker. And as they both charge in, they're going to be stabbing out with their spears, hooked barbs on the end, tearing through clothing, and then possibly endangering you, if not for your current hardiness. They are both going to do 1 point of damage to each of you. This is the opportunity, if you guys had a defense ability to defend yourself, you would be able to use it to not take that damage. But I believe 1 point of damage for your guys' 10 health is not too scary.
Not too scary at the moment, no.
Okay, so both Celeste and Eriker have taken 1 hit from those remaining minions. With that, we are going to go to Eriker. You have just used your reaction, and now your reaction ability. Now you have your actual turn to do your more proactive things.
All right. Move and action can be either order.
Correct.
All right. I will. Gonna give a good pound on the drum and send a shockwave out the back, casting a spell akin to Thunderwave, and use a level 0 attack on that orc minion.
Fantastic.
And then I will tarry up the way in my gleaming blue jumpsuit to face these foes with Celeste.
Fantastic. And with that, we will continue on. We get back to Celeste.
May I ask something?
Yeah.
So I had 3 points for the my group solo attack group,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Correct.
And reading this attack thing, it says group when attacking minions, you can slay twice the number. So I just have to focus on the minions, or could I have split that up?
So, the way that works is you do have to choose one or the other. So you can either use that ability as your base ability for whatever the power level is to attack anybody, or using it for the group attack on the minions, you instead of doing any damage, you just
Wonderful.
slay that many minions.
Wonderful. All right. I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful question. That's why we're here.
I think Celeste is going to... I think she kind of wants to save her things a little bit for now. So I think she's just going to run up to this orc minion and shocking grasp at him to stun him and kill him through his spear.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes. 0 attack. And I don't think I'll move. I'll just stay in the same region.
Okay. So having slain the final minion, it would seem an easy play for you guys to now all focus on the orc war leader. However, all challenges do have a length, and depending on the length, things begin to happen if you do not complete them in time. That is what I was referencing with the not getting the Danger 3 exploration to get here done soon enough could have been bad. Well, this battle has a length of 1, so after the first round, something does happen. As you have people rushing from the safety that Brother Maynard saved them from that lower home, a little kid points up to the tavern going, "Old Man Withers is still in there!" So we have added to the initiative deck a fire card. If the fire card is drawn before Old Man Withers is saved, you will lose a villager in the flames. So...
Oh, goodness.
Because that's the story, I guess.
Wonderful.
And the first pull is fire.
And he's dead.
Does anybody have a reaction ability that's not been used?
If no one else does, I can reaction wall of force defense plots.
This would be a plot defense. That is exactly what it would be. You guys would be taking story deficits, and for a long-term game or for the crossover event where we're going to be comparing different factions' actions, there's a final score, and protecting Old Man Withers is something that a plot defense could be used for.
I will gladly use it. I hope it doesn't bite me later, but I will use it as I hear this child scream out and timberwood flaming comes down. I will just make a flat plane separating this old man from the rest of this falling fire.
In doing so, the rest of the villagers can crawl in a bit and pull Old Man Withers out, saving him. And leaving the only danger remaining on the field, the orc war leader. I was not expecting that to happen the way it did, but it's fantastic.
All right, wonderful.
Technically, you do have the ability to move on this react. Oh no, it's a defense, so it's not a reaction. It's just preventing the plot damage. So, with that, we will continue on to Eriker the Bard.
Does the draw get shuffled every time, or does it just continue?
It gets shuffled every time, yeah.
Okay, so at the moment, I believe, just off of basic information, we don't have a whole lot of attacks to go around, and there is a champion on the field. I will use my Power 1 solo attack against the Orc War Leader champion. I will conjure a blade and toss it up and use my magical sound waves to launch it at the Orc War Leader.
Oh, that's fantastic. When I wrote the flourish ability, that was not what I was thinking, but this is fantastic. This is lovely. The power of a narrative-focused game. So, that is going to be a power 1, so with it targeting a solo enemy, a champion, that does 2 instead, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so with that, the blade chunks deep into his side, vibrates there. He moves forward, kind of like grunts through it, and then he pulls the blade out, bending it as he does so, and throws it to the ground. He is pretty hurt. He is in other games would be around bloodied, but he still has plenty of fight left in him.
And then I think I'm going to stay where I am at, stay in this region, just to potentially divert what he may do from going entirely at Celeste.
Thank you.
Okay. So with that, we do go to the Orc Champion. With that, on the Orc Champion's turn, he is going to... which ability does he want to use now? Yeah, there's two of you still there. So he is going to do a Warlord's Fury. And this is going to be a damage 2 effect on up to 2 enemies. So... you guys, both Celeste and Erica the Bard, as opposed to being fully focused on by the champion, he's going to split those attacks, raking across with oversized claws and a crude hatchet for 2 damage each.
Wonderful.
Okay. From him, we do go... to Celeste. We have 1 card left in the deck. Brother Maynard, you have to wait a while for your second turn.
He was at the very top and the very bottom.
So when for defensive abilities, is that something that's available as a reaction?
Yes, defensive abilities are a reaction, but you do have to be in the same region. So you are in a separate region.
Okay.
I'm not sure. My next thing is level 3. I don't know if I should use it all here, but then that would put it all on Brother Maynard. Brother Maynard, may I ask for your clarification? Can you defeat this Orc champion with ease, or would it require a significant amount of power from you?
It would likely require a significant boon or form of intervention.
Alright, in that case, I will use my 3rd Power Arcane Gate to just do damage. That's how we do it, right?
Yeah. As opposed to using the movement ability for Arcane Gate, that being a group movement, typically you'd be able... with a level 3 ability to move three heroes, whether you and 2 allies or just 2 allies, up to 3 regions. In this case, you can just spend it for the 3 power to damage 3 times. How would you like to damage him with Arcane Gate?
Yeah, I think because Arcane Gate is not visible from one side, I'd like to just pop in and out from the different sides, confusing him with the various shocking grasps and various other cantrips that shall be named later, like fire bolts and all that stuff, and using the arcane gates that he does not know about to just get out of his reach.
Okay, fantastic, as you are blinking in and out of existence, and that is going to get you the kill.
I'd hope so.
Yeah. So with that, as you all around him, coming in and out, shocking grass, getting far away, throwing fire bolts from the sky, all that sort of stuff. It's brutal. And as this challenge comes to an end, the inn still burning, but you guys having saved most of the buildings from being directly targeted, having saved Old Man Withers, you guys find yourselves with whatever conversations you wish to have, and maybe understanding where you guys all stand in your current power levels. But once you're done with that, I will let you know that the people are troubled. And you guys will have a social encounter coming up.
Why are these orcs attacking this village here? What could they possibly have to gain other than pillage?
We search the bodies. for any clues as to where they're from or what they're doing?
You can. So as you begin searching the bodies, this is going to be something that, given time, any of you with your narrative abilities, of your own skills, whether it's the more thief-like abilities, whether it's the more detective abilities, anything in that range as you begin looking through them, you do find that they have in their possession already what appear to be supplies from the town. The bags they have do not seem orcish in make. Some of the belts and belt buckles and the boots do not seem like they are orcish in make. And you start to ascertain that this is not a one-time presence of the orcs, but they have been utilizing this village many times in the past, though you do not yet know why they have why they've decided to attack the village this day as opposed to just taking things from it.
Brother Maynard, do you have any advice for these trying times?
Well, find that the worries of the people are sourced in problems that are not always visible. I think we should look for key members of the village to speak to. And by key members, I don't always mean leaders and the mayor and such. Business owners, family leaders of the church. See if we can sort out what worries them.
Yes. It would be best to gather information.
After we put out the fire, of course.
You put out the fire, of course. So, as you make those plans, intending to find the business owners, the blacksmith, the carpenter, and the priest of the village, nothing of an individual blessed by the gods or anything like that, but definitely someone of faith to help with the decisions of the town, you start going about trying to ascertain what's going on. So, with a social challenge, the way they work, as we were just plowing through challenge type to see them in close proximity, social challenges, you will roleplay out the information that you want. You will roleplay out how you want to push the directions of the conversations. There are some individuals that, similar to looting the bodies, looking for clues, you can just simply talk to and you'll just get the information. Others might be a little bit more withdrawn. In a different game where you might do a persuasion check or something like that, that's where social challenge begins. With that, once again, you can use any of your abilities. You might have to get a bit creative in the narrative how you're going to overcome a social challenge with something like Arcane Gate, but it is available for whatever your heart's desire is. However, there are social special abilities, and with that, similar to the exploration, social special abilities, their power level is worth double for this challenge, so only one or two of those social special abilities are more than able of overcoming this challenge. Alternatively, with a social special ability, their subtypes fall into basically diplomacy, deception, and intimidation. And instead of using your power for its power level, you can gamble. If the person you're talking to, if the organization you're talking to, whoever the challenge is with, is prone to that version of socialization, that single ability can deal with it. It can be a danger level 10 social challenge. But if it is a danger level 10 social challenge of a small kobold that is very prone to cowardice, a level 1 intimidation ability can complete the entire challenge. Where some role-playing games, it's very difficult to use those those proficiencies of intimidation or the like to have a very clear-cut answer of whether it worked. As long as you get the situation right of your diplomacy, deception, or intimidation, a single level 1 ability has the power to win out the entire challenge. So, you guys, having decided that you would like to seek out the priest, the carpenter, the blacksmith, the supports of the village, if not the headman or the elder, that choice will determine which subtype they are prone to. So, as you guys go asking around for this, for these few members of the community to begin to piece together what's going on, you may describe any roleplay you have for the situation, and then also determine whether you want to spend general powers, social powers, or if you want to gamble on a subtype.
Sorry.
Please continue. No, please continue.
Are you sure?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Just for clarification, the inn was the only damage that the inn was the only structure that had been damaged, and there did not seem to be too many casualties of civilians.
The casualties seem very low. So as you kind of look at that, the inn is the area that was most damaged. It's kind of an inn, tavern, common house, all that sort of thing. That's probably what was burning first that you guys saw at a distance. And then you got here fast enough to prevent the other small stable from fully going up and being destroyed as well. So you just have that singular building that has been vastly damaged.
And everyone is gathering?
They are gathering in their own groups. It's not an entire congregation, but people are checking on loved ones, friends, family, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So just table courtesy, I do have diplomacy social. Not sure how to apply that. I was thinking of providing a peaceful environment for the civilians, which is in direct opposition to Brother Maynard's idea of going for the key players, but I could direct it towards that as well. Just not sure how to go about this. Feeling a little bit down on my drum.
Well, if you can gather the people together that need physical support, like finding a triage type area, can use aid to heal the group and help support and shore up the people who are only somewhat injured.
That sounds like a plan.
Sounds wonderful.
So I will pull out some bird pipes, go sit by either the well, because it seems central, or... Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Go sit by the well and pull out some bird pipes and just begin playing a soothing song for people around and taking time to check on people, try to get some conversation going. Make it known that we're here and that we're available to help, but also maintaining that more positive vibes going on after this dire attack. Okay. I will, if possible, I will apply that to my level 3 diplomacy.
Oh, that is fantastic. Yeah. So as you start gathering everybody up and then you begin to, provide the aid you can, rise the spirits, and trying to get people to talk because you are here to solve the problem, I now have to ask the question, are you going with your level 3 diplomacy as using the power level of a social special ability to have this being 6 points towards completion? Or are you gambling on diplomacy as being the correct answer no matter what?
No, I will do 6 points towards diplomacy.
Okay, so with 6 points being thrown at the social challenge, that That covers it. This was a challenge 5, a danger 5. So with that one ability, you waste no time. There's no chance for any length of this challenge to cause any other problems. And as you start talking with people, they do start talking, and they start to share a little bit of shame, a little bit of hubris, a little bit of guilt, but they begin to tell you of how when you guys came through months ago that you had encouraged all of them, and the aid that you provided to the region was very enheartening, and they didn't have the heart to tell you then, but the orcs coming through and taking a bunch of supplies has been something that's been going on for a while, and in the intervening months they have begun plotting how to oppose the orcs and to stand up for themselves and to be better people. And it didn't go well for them. And it's very fortunate that you came through, because the orcs decided to teach them a lesson for trying to stand up to them. And while they would not kill anybody, because then all the craftsmen would be dead and the orcs would have nothing left to raid, they were going to make sure that the village remembered what happened and remembered why you do not oppose, remember why you simply give in. Very much a kind of a Hunger Games and a reaping sort of situation to keep the village down. With that, they are ashamed of the situation, of their own failure, but they are also not above asking for additional help, and they do begin to then tell you of higher up the mountain, over around to the west. They have not gone there directly, but their hunters, their yeomen, have seen the orc community in the distance. This orc community, the Hammertoes by name. It's not the best orc name, but when you have a single clan in the region, no one's gonna oppose it. So, speaking with the villagers, you begin to get a direction of where the rest of the orc tribe resides.
Don't particularly want to exterminate. Perhaps we can just talk to these orcs.
As you bring that up, Old Man Wither's like, "You're gonna talk to him?" Kind of like looks over towards Eriker. Maybe if everyone's gonna talk, maybe he should talk to him. But, I mean, if you can solve the problem, I don't know. You're the heroes, not us, but, whatever you do, we would appreciate you do it before they get angry and send more people for, as they kind of look around to the dead bodies. We very much appreciate what you've done, but we would prefer not to have this on our backs as well.
I understand, Old Man Withers. I hope you're doing fine. We will, I suppose, ensure that nothing happens due to the orcs again.
I'm doing okay, yeah. When bad things are happening, you get that shot of adrenaline. I've heard of mothers being able to lift entire wagons off their kids. I don't know, must have had one of those adrenaline surges, because I didn't even feel that timber fall on my back. I'm as strong as an ox.
Yes, you are, sir. As strong as an ox. Hysterical strength, if you weren't aware, as well. But that's beside the point. Yes, I'm glad you're doing great.
With that, some of the carpenter, the blacksmith come up. They kind of, if that's what you want to do, I don't know what sorts of situations you lot are capable of, but they're all alcoved up there. If you don't want to exterminate them, you'd at least have to do something about their leaders. They've got a shaman, and they've got an ogre chief that kind of deals with all of it, so if you can deal with them, we might be able to not have to deal with the entire clan situation, but you might have to at least deal with those two, whether it's who's it, what's it, charming them, or whether it's dropping them into the ocean, or I don't know what you can do, but do something to break up the bully alliance.
Brother Maynard? Erica? What do you
It
guys
seems
suppose?
like the orcs have sent a message. It was read and received. I feel like it would be impolite if we didn't reply.
Yes.
But we're just making sure we understand what's going on. You're just replying. You're not replying all, correct?
Yes.
Just make sure the reply is suitable to the original message.
Okay then. And then there's like a little kid that like pulls on like the blacksmith slave. Does that mean they're gonna burn their house to the ground? And the blacksmith, who is probably where they got the source of fire to start going after the stable and the inn at the first place, he just kind of like looks at it. By golly, I hope so.
Yeah, once I realize somebody has caught on to the way I'm framing our response, just kind of nod and wink in their direction and turn back to the group.
Wonderful.
With that, one of the yeomen of the village kind of approaches. I'm not going to be much help once we get there, but if you want, I can lead you there if that'll help you. You already done a great service for all of us, and despite some bumps, bruises, and some light charring, overall everyone's safe. So yeah, I mean, I'll do what I can to help.
Well then, lead the way.
Yes, much appreciated.
And with that, with you guys, having saved not Brother Maynard, having saved Old Man Withers, yeah, you have a yeoman willing to lead you up around the western side of the mountains. Upon the way, I don't know how well you guys are doing. It is a small group, so you've used quite a few abilities, but if anyone outside of combat would like to use any healing abilities or the like to shore yourselves up, you may more than easily do so. It's just your choice whether you want to commit that resource now when it's not in initiative, or if you want to save that special ability in case you need it to overcome any other challenge with their power level directly.
Narratively speaking, medicine and healing are in my wheelhouse. So if there's anything I can do while we travel, I'll make sure that my allies are shored up and feeling fully revitalized.
Fantastic. So yes, easily doing so, making sure everyone's in the best comfort possible. For that medicine situation, with it being a narrative ability, narrative abilities can freely be used on exploration and social. So with that, that is an example of something you could do without having the third level social diplomacy from our bard earlier. That is something that you could have done to begin just chewing through the social challenge for a much longer stay by providing medicine and first aid to the village without using any of your special powers. So that's kind of how that would work in the long run. I know you're not trying to like heal the party with the narrative power, just explaining for all of the possible listeners.
Cool.
Now that was on the docket for if the diplomacy didn't finish the challenge anyway. So
Exactly.
Yeah. So in that case, I'll use a power level 2 ability aid to heal up the group.
Okay, so with a power level 2 group heal, I believe you can choose 2 individuals to heal 2 health.
How convenient that I have 2 individuals in my party who've taken at least 2 points of damage.
Wow.
And that is part of the efficiency of this game, where with all of the unspent powers you have and all those sorts of things, remaining hit points and all of that going into a final score, being the most efficient use of powers is part of the strategy of this game. We're really cramming it all into a one-shot of hitting everything in rapid succession, but yeah, that is perfect.
Much appreciated, Brother Maynard.
Yes, I do dislike being the first down, so this will help stave that off.
Okay, so as we have our yeoman guiding you up the mountains, he's going to get you to an area where the trees start to dwindle off. You have much larger kind of cliff faces that wrap around and that sort of thing. And he kind of points not more than quarter mile ahead. The orcs are up there. From what we've seen from the treetops in the distance, they've got a couple patrols and posts out front of the gate. They got a watchtower and the like. If you're not planning on fighting your way in with the extermination, you might want to find some way to climb over some of the cliff face or things like that to get deeper in without doing too much destruction. But that's going to be on you to figure out how you want to do that. I know that this is a good spot for us to part ways, and especially do not go around to that corner up there if you don't want immediate conflict.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
With that, while we are not going to immediately be dropping into an initiative, I will be pulling us all over to our next map, and we'll actually be pulling you down to the very far corner. That way we are nowhere near that orc minion. This is all a single region on the map, if needed, but for the ease of telling our narrative story, we do have a blocked out area for our orc encampment. At the very bottom of our map is the approach. Then we have the climbing of the gravel cliffs with a single orc minion on patrol, and then up in front of the gates is another section with a couple more patrolled guards. We have our watchtower, which I've blocked off in yellow because that is technically its own region, climbing up into it to fight. You do not have to climb up into it to defeat that orc minion if someone has a ranged attack. An attack special ability, subtype ranged. You'd be able to take him out without going up there to get him. And then we do have a number of different colored regions around the inside of this community. So with it, you guys have made your plans not to exterminate all of the orcs, but to simply deal with the leaders and allow for the orc tribes to break, possibly destroying homes, destroying resources, that sort of dealing of the problem. So for whatever solutions you guys wish to discuss, I will let you know that this will be classified as an exploration encounter, and it will be a very, very high danger level compared to what we've had in the past of things around 3s, 5s, all of that. This is going to be significantly higher than 3 or 5, as this will be a means of dealing with this problem without attacking anyone directly if you don't want to. So you may begin discussing your plans, knowing that you'll have to be scaling some cliffs, you'll have to be using a bit more creative use of your abilities to finish this off before you start to have any enemies charging you.
Well, I have an idea.
Yes.
Bit of intervention, if you will. We had assisted this village in the past. We've known they've been attacked, and we came back to save them just in the nick of time. We had helped them previously. Perhaps we had established a plan the next time they had raided while we were away to provide the offering that they would come to take. An offering of tainted food. It is ravaging their digestive systems currently. It would take a bit of divine intervention.
It would take divine intervention for that plan to have been done in the past. But if you so chose, a divine intervention could be.
Would be a huge swing in our favor. And I think the only thing that Brother Maynard would have left to say would be, love it when a plan comes together.
So I'm sorry, please continue.
Still don't quite understand the need for plans after my adventures, but please, I love it.
So, making it official, Brother Maynard, you are using your 5th level power, Divine Intervention, typically a defense plot. And in this case, it is just 5 points going straight at this entire community, making them much more feebler and weaker than they were previously known to be in the story.
There'll be some people who are not as strategically positioned. Some of the, latrine will be quite popular.
Okay, so we're just gonna, because combat doesn't matter much for regions, we're gonna remove one of the doubles from each of their areas to go to the latrine, and I'm gonna go ahead and just shuffle through my deck. If I actually, ooh. Okay, so this is a real finicky part of the mechanics that it seems like I'm making up out of my own butt based off of the situation. I was going to reshuffle the new initiative deck for when it's needed, but then pull the first card. And in pulling the first card, if it's you guys, also the orc in the tower is in the latrine at the moment. If it is an enemy, he's still up there. However, Brother Maynard, the previous combat ended before you got a turn. And the way initiative works in this game is if less than a half of the heroes have not taken their turn by the end of initiative, they automatically go to the top of the next initiative to highlight them at the beginning of the next thing. So, with me shuffling up the deck and then putting your name on top, it is guaranteed that the minion in the tower is also at the latrine. So,
Nice.
the mechanics themselves have said that not only do you have the 5 points towards your conclusion, it is the best in terms of grouping people up if necessary, getting them all into a very sickly state. And based off of the narrative of this divine intervention in a wonderful plan that pulls on the narrative of what has happened around the village, they're not even aware they need to start responding to you guys yet. So that is 5 points down of this exploration challenge, and whoever has something else they want to do to push it forward to drive the orcs, ogres, and wargs out.
I think... Oh, please continue.
Oh, sorry, I just coughed.
Oh, I thought that was someone else. I think to assist with this plan and to avoid the main entrance, Celeste will use a narrative ability to levitate, or to cast levitate, to help us climb this cliff. As I assume we need to be heading into the camp in a more stealthy manner.
Okay. That is fantastic. So you guys will easily levitate up the cliff face. This is going to now begin to eat into the length of this challenge, how many things can happen before there's a deficit. However, that is you are an expert, so that narrative ability does have power 1, and that brings us up to a total of 6. 6 power to complete this challenge.
Right, I've got a question about an ability.
Mm-hmm.
I have the exploration information ability. If I were to use it as exploration information, it would be the double value, but it would only...
So for the exploration information, in this case, you could spend the ability to get a solid knowledge of what the challenge is for this exploration challenge. And then depending how many, what the power level is, you could also then, if things go really bad, learn the danger level of maybe the ogre chieftain or the orc shaman. So you could learn all those things, or you could just spend it for double points, since this is an exploration challenge and that is an exploration ability.
So I could use my, what is it called? My lore keeper ability.
Mm-hmm.
If I just use it like 5 points against the challenge, would it still count as double?
Yes, because this is an exploration challenge, so
Okay.
Your lore keeper is a level 5 ability, so that would bring you guys up to a total of 16.
Okay. So how this is going to be executed is, I just so happen to know the folklore and or mythos that dictates like the bad things that happen that would cause sickness in the camp. The kind of faux pas they did to have this divine strike upon them in their culture, if that makes any sense.
That does make sense.
We could use that information to our advantage to then move in and scare them off.
That is exactly how that would work. Are you confirming that for the challenge?
I will just say, hey guys, blah 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 blah. Does that sound okay? Just to confirm with the other two.
Absolutely. If you want
Of course.
to.
That's what we planned, right?
That is exactly what you planned.
So, confirm.
Confirmed. Bringing you guys up to a 16. This exploration challenge was set at 15 points.
Oh, I misjudged that completely.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was gonna be like 10.
Yeah, no, this was a big one. So with it set at 15 points, the divine intervention, getting you guys levitating up into position, and then using this deep knowledge, I'll let you know this was also a length of 3, so you guys were coming up on them spotting you. You guys have the perfect plan. All of the different things of what animals to eat at what different time of year, the nature of the honor of raids and how they may have been doing things a bit wrong in terms of raiding the village the past couple of times. You start to pull in all of this stuff, and I open it up to you. What is the final strike? What is the final thing? The totem, the boogeyman, the call upon the wind. What is the trigger that gets the shaman to decree to people that are still at the latrine that this land is now cursed and we have to leave? What is that final beat?
We'll start pulling the beater of my drum across the head in a very sharp fashion to create that like rapid bubbly screech sound, and I'll use some magical distortion to seem like it's echoing around, kind of set the tone for everything.
I will use control flames to make the campfire, I suppose, just grow large and quiet, pulsing like that, as it seems their spirits about.
And I will use thaumaturgy to create a bellowing voice that reigns over the camp and saying, in a very guttural tone, a language that would be befitting of something that like an infernal type voice that I would suspect the orcs would recognize. Tell them that their punishment has yet to begin. It is far worse for you soon if you do not leave these lands to the east and cleanse yourselves in the ocean before you are able to return. And realizing that that's like a multiple year-long journey. Like, I'm sending them to the far end of the continent.
Oh, that is fantastic. And with that, as you do so, the shaman is already kind of like using their implement, shaking and kind of like trying to at least appease the immediate wave of wrath that might come, as you have the flaring of fire, that just deep reverberation that kind of is the undertone, that kind of bouncing skip draw that is the background to this thaumaturgy voice. And with that, they make the decrees that the tribe must do as the spirits decree, otherwise far greater things will occur. As they immediately start just pulling out with grabbing the hunting sacks and things like that, not even tearing everything down, but getting the immediate things they need, everything else they can make along the way. The ogre throws a fit about them being cowards and no spooky voices will drive him away. And then as everyone leaves, he realizes he no longer has authority, and he no longer can bully anybody, and he no longer has that control. And so in order for him to maintain having station, he has to have people to be stationed over, and he slowly just morosely mopes away as well. And with that, you have done what the village has asked you to do, and you've done so in your own non-deadly way.
Wonderful.
We just gotta get back to town without being seen.
Yeah, I think we hang tight here for a moment. Make sure they're fully cleared out before we make a peep.
Yeah.
Make sure that they're gone. Maybe wait a couple of hours. And then,
Probably search to see if there's anything we can salvage. Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
So as you begin to do that, all of you having narrative power 1 for being experts, you guys just go through the area, and you do manage to find what is a few magical tinctures that the shaman has in place. You have the supplies, the things that the orcs did not have on them, but the things that they have been raiding and looting from the village and other villages in the other side of the mountain. You start to find all the supplies that you can easily bring back as well. And yeah, you are heroes.
Wonderful.
With that, I simply open it up if there's any final narratives you guys have for returning to the village, any conversations you wish to have with the villagers, or anything like that for this quick little introductory one-shot to see how things play out in practice. Any final notes for this story?
Well, I'm really glad that we talked the farmers into relocating their malt and hops fields. It'd be a shame if any of that had gone to waste. But we'll have plenty of ways to celebrate when we get back to the village.
Indeed. A good time.
Yes. Nothing can be a celebratory pat on the backs, I suppose. Yes, this is a wonderful venture, I suppose.
We also have to remember not to leave people in too high of spirits when we pass through, because stuff like this happens.
They get really excited, and then a hill giant comes through, really hungry for a barn.
Dear.
You guys do make your return. You make your glorious return to the village, sharing the good news, and they themselves share their celebrations with you. With the culmination of that final challenge, to get in the habit and just seeing how it works, I do now want to come up with a final score for this session. I'll be honest, your score is going to be higher than I expected, based off of the way I adjusted for the players, adjusted for the characters, and then you guys saying, hey, we don't have a whole bunch of attack abilities, we're going to solve this our own way, and played into the system. You guys are going to have a lot of points just from health. So we will go through and calculate out. So for our final score, we are going to add up all of our special ability power levels that have not been used. We're going to add in our remaining health after the last encounter, which I believe for you guys is like at 28 points just right there.
Yeah.
And then you guys don't have any deficits. You had no one drop to 0, so you don't have that -10 deficit for that per person dropping to 0. And the one plot damage I got off, you guys defended, so that did not happen either. So yeah, go ahead and total up your unspent powers and your unspent health, and we will get a total for the game.
Looking a bit... Actually, no, never mind. For me personally, in addition to disregarding the health, that'd be 9 points for my unspent abilities.
Okay. So we have 28 from all of your guys' health at 9, 9, 10, I believe. We have the 9 unspent from Celeste. What are the unspent points on Eriker?
4.
4, okay. And what are the unspent power levels of Maynard?
8.
8. Dude. Okay, you guys got 49. Hitting 50.
Oh.
So
Close.
It was close.
So the easiest way to understand the success of your session is to do it in a percentage above or below the group's starting values. Most of the time, if you add up all of your power levels and add up all of your health, by the end of the game, they're going to be considerably underneath that. But based off of how you guys played things out, while you are below, your guys' starting score would have been 30 points from health and then another 15. So you guys are doing great. You guys are well positive, I believe.
Did we have any
30
optional
you're
objectives?
You did not have any optional objectives in this game.
All right.
So yeah, the 30 plus 15 is 45 total, right?
15.
Oh wow,
What did
no.
It would have
9?
started at
9 plus 8 plus 4 is 12 plus 9 is 21 plus 28? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about something else. Sorry.
should have started at 75 or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. My brain
Okay.
shut off. Yeah, so yeah, it started at 75, but even at that 49 out of 75, that is putting you guys at a 65% efficiency. That is fantastic.
Wonderful.
So, go ahead.
Would this be the general time for a thing of this?
The time to play a session.
Yes.
So we went through pretty fast. The intention of this was very much to test play the mechanics. In a more normal session, there would be much more generalized role play. There would be more kind of story beats along the way to get places, beginnings and endings.
Would there be more encounters?
So the number of encounters is something that you balance with the amount of players. So you could have more encounters easily. And with that, I generally made these handful of encounters for a myriad of character types. We very much leaned heavy onto the expert, which changed the way that the session got ran, changed the way the session got played. Having more, knowing that you have more heroes as opposed to their narrative ability having power 1, their basic attack, their free attack is a power 1. So I will be honest, I removed multiple champions knowing that you guys just did not have the stats for more champions. And so combats could go longer. You could have more combats with more champions because you can just whittle through them and then they do more damage to you guys, that sort of thing. But even with that, yeah, maybe one or two more encounters and then more narrative. Like I think our current time, I don't know fully, it's like around an hour?
Yes.
Hour and a half. Yeah. So I would think, that, a longer session might be 2 to 2.5 hours with a lot more roleplay. But the system is very much designed to play fast. We're doing this combat, and the initiative system of if there's a few people that have not gotten to go, they just go on the top of the next deck, is made with the intention of a combat might be really fast, and 1 or 2 players, if you have a party of 5 or 6 people, they may not even get a turn depending on if people are using special abilities or not. And so it's meant to churn through and do a lot of stuff. And theoretically, you could do a 2-story dungeon in a single 4-hour session. Like, it is meant for you to just plow through things. So it's designed knowing that I wanted to do a crossover event with 3-4 campaigns worth of characters, and Dungeons and Dragons combat, a single combat can go an hour and a half, 2 hours. I've had some major combats go an entire 4-hour session, and knowing I wanted to highlight a bunch of characters and highlight what they can do, this system is designed of, you want to use Featherfall, you want to use this magic weapon, you want to use Divine Intervention, and I want to highlight all of those abilities and just say, yes, the thing works. It's just a matter of how efficiently the thing works and how efficient the entire story is versus whether it's is this more of a last-ditch effort of I kind of have to use this ability now, or do you find the perfect opportunity to use an ability? So it's more about the decisions and the story than it is the random chance of the dice. This very much plays like a Saturday morning Avengers Assemble, Justice League International, anything like that, where we're going to do the thing. Okay, we did this stuff in this end of the city. We're going to go to that end of the city. Oh no, we have to go across the ocean. This is meant for you to just go do a bunch of things and know that you are going to get to the end of the story. You're going to get to the thing you really want to get to, unless you have a party wipe, at which point really bad choices were made.
Yes. All right, I see. Understand.
Are there any other questions, comments, concerns that we want to have public for other players that might be joining the event to hear the discussion, or are you guys good to wrap this up?
I think I would just add in, I really enjoyed the free and loose use of language and lingo throughout the system, and the shocking grasp or the feather fall and just all these things that don't have to be micromanaged. Just I am wizardly, so wizardly things happen, and I'm just going to use phrases I'm familiar with.
Yes, it is meant to be easy, and with the crossover codex, the idea is not only is it for this big crossover I want to do, but if you wanted to do a game with Indiana Jones, Zorro, Iron Man, Batman, and then an alien from Treasure Planet, the design of the game is, here's the mechanics of how the different categories of things work, and everything else is, let's just tell a fun story. So yeah, you can just be wizard and do wizard things all the time, or you can play super secret agent man, and it's all about let's just do the thing.
Yes,
you're gonna get that shot off. It's going to happen. You get that moment. Then at the same time, you have the abjuration wizard protecting everybody, getting that scene.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I enjoyed this a lot. Like, I didn't come into this thinking I was going to have fun or not have fun. I was coming into it like, oh, we're going to test play this. I've been reading the rules for 2 weeks, and now we get to do it. And it was different than expected, but also very fun.
Yes.
Hopefully the next time it gets played, it's a bit more deep. This was a very shallow session, but it was meant to test play the mechanics, and I appreciate all of your guys' time. For all of you watching, thank you so much for watching. I will put links down in the description for where the pre-generated sheets that we saw with Erica the Bard and Maynard the Cleric, and then some of the rules for this version, as this is in test play. But I'll put all that stuff down below, and hopefully you guys, if you pick it up, have some fun with it. And have a good time. Have a lovely. And I'll see you next time.